Hello, welcome back to my channel, Kissed by Starlight. Today I'm bringing you a message from the fairies. Let's see what messages they would like to bring through today. So I hope you are having a wonderful day or evening, wherever you are. Oh wow, look at that. Can you see we've got the white stag? You are the earth, reconnect, renew, remember. So this is a calling. This is a calling back to the ancient wisdom of the land. Perhaps you're being guided to connect with the land in some deep and more meaningful way. Perhaps you're being asked to remember your connection to the land. So if you're somebody who used to spend a lot of time in nature, communing and connecting, and you haven't done that for a while, you're being called back. You're being called back to reconnect to the beauty, the wisdom that the earth can offer, the safety that the earth can offer to us, that kind of landscape where we're given the clarity to understand what's happening in our lives, perhaps to reflect, to pause, to meditate, to journal, to write. I mean, there are so many different things that will be going on for different people in this reading, because it is a general reading. Some people are coming to terms with things that they've been asked to let go of. You know, we can see that there's been a deep process of letting go, but there's a calling. There's a calling that's coming out of that letting go. There's an actual pathway into a new beginning, and that new beginning may not be able to be seen yet. We're in the kind of depths of going into winter, in the winter period. In the UK right now, we're coming up to the winter solstice period, and this marks the time of, you know, the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. So we go into the darkness. We go into the darkness to reflect, to pause, to work out exactly where we are, where we've been, where we're going, and to be grateful for the present moment. And then we move into a period of more light where things become more expansive and situations open up, new situations arrive, and there's the beckoning of the promise of spring to come. So it's a really beautiful and fertile time to be doing excuse me, any kind of shadow work, any kind of work that involves you going within and reflecting, pausing. Look at this beautiful owl. This beautiful owl is resting quietly. Going into this period, we've got solitude, privacy, discretion, this time of just pulling yourself back together to then be stronger, to move into who we are, who we're becoming, and everything that we've been let go of. And can you see where before the leaves had were being shed from the trees as we're asked to let go? Here it looks like they're filled with starlight. So as we go up, move out of autumn and into winter, we're literally faced with the stars, and the stars are representative of the higher wisdom, the higher light, meeting the higher self, perhaps recognizing your star origins and making that connection with your star family, with your soul family, stronger and brighter, you know, remembering who you are, where you came from and why you're here. And it's so lovely how the fox and I think it's a blackbird or a crow, are looking up at this starlight. They're receiving the light codes, the activations, the wisdom from the higher realms. In the stars, you know, we receive the activations we need to help us on our soul mission, on our soul journey. And this is all very relevant to the fairies, because the fairies are nature's angels. They are those beings of light who care for the earth, who quietly tend to the earth. They quietly tend to guardianship of the land and the animals and the nature's kingdom. And they encourage us to do the same, to be more aware of our earth, our land, you know, perhaps the land we live on, the land we're standing in, and to bring our light to that land. So again, maybe you're being called to do some grid work, to work with the land, bringing through codes and activations and light, and if you're being called to do this, you may be being called into nature, perhaps to the sacred sites, perhaps to other areas where you can bring through only what you can bring through, you know, your unique essence, your authentic signature and your message, your activation, and you will know where to go. You'll just be guided. You'll just have a feeling like, I really want to go here. I really want to be here. I really want to stand here. You may not even know why, and that's okay. But just traveling to that place and allowing yourself to be in that place and to bring through whatever wants to come through is very fertile. It's very beautiful. Let go of who you think you should be and embrace who you are. This is a really strong message today. This has come through 2 or 3 times already before this reading, about standing in who you actually are, not trying to be anybody else, not trying to adopt or copy or mimic what you think others do or bring, because you have your own unique signature, as we said earlier, your own unique light codes, your own unique personality and gifts and wisdom that you are being called to bring in. But at this time, we do see that it's a period of rest, of recalibration, of remembering, and really settling into that. And look how lovely, we've got sacred sites here. We've got the stones, the ancient stones. We've got the symbol that shows us of the connectedness of all things, you know, the 3, the power of the 3. And the power of the 3 is very much also connected to the divine feminine wisdom, which is all about communing with the land and being amongst nature. We all have that divine feminine energy, whichever gender we identify with. And you can see there are special markings and signs and symbols here that are ancient. They're very, very old. They're millions and millions of years old and lifetimes. And yet we're being brought now to decode them, and we can decode them using our own natural gifts and expressions and talents. So you are being called back for a reason now to uncover and unearth the ancient wisdom and gifts unlocked within the earth. You're being asked to bring those through now for humanity, for your society, for your land, for your ancestors, for all of that healing to come through. Look at this. Fill up from the healing waters of Mother Earth's sacred springs and connect to her heartbeat. Become as one energy. Honour the magic of the land. Be nature's friend and ally. Assist in recreating Mother Earth's original garden of pure wonder. So you are being specifically called to these places to bring your magic, to tend to the land, to tend to what is needing to be tended to. Let's just bring through a couple of tarot cards. We've got the Fairy Tarot here. I haven't used this deck for a really long time, so it'll be lovely to see which messages come through. Oh wow, we've got 7 of Winter. There's a better choice, not seeing things clearly, running away from the truth. So perhaps, you know, this is alluding to what we were talking about earlier, of perhaps there's some aspect of you not wanting to face something about yourself or another or a situation you're in, and it's been really difficult for you to do so. Perhaps you've been turning away from this because I don't know, there could be many reasons. Maybe you're afraid, maybe it's difficult and painful, maybe it's a period of feeling frozen or stuck, or in a phase of life that you can't understand. And we see this fairy, and she's skating around on the ice, and it seems that she's looking for something, or she's not looking at what she has in her hand. In her hand she's holding a vial of water, and yet here we see all of the water is frozen all around her. Everything's frozen, and yet she's holding the purity of the original water. She's holding the original consciousness that she can use whatever she needs the water for, whether it's to drink, whether it's to bathe, whatever is going on here. She's perhaps not realizing she's running from the ice when all along she has everything she needs right with her, right in front of her. So there's this kind of message of not escaping from truth, you know, being willing to face truth and to look at whatever has been difficult to look at. And again, we've got the Empress energy, the energy of the number 3, And the energy of the number 3 again is that divine feminine, that receiving, birthing, creating, nurturing, loving, and yet standing in power, standing in grace, standing in majesty. That can be quiet. It doesn't need to be loud. But there's a message here: time to take action, the power of creativity, success that allows for a life of luxury. So I'm seeing that whatever this mission is that you are being called to, that you're working. Oh my goodness, and we've got the Emperor and the Empress side by side. So this could even be a relationship that you are manifesting, trying to manifest, or a relationship where you're perhaps not seeing the truth of it clearly. You're not able to see exactly what's going on. Perhaps you are being called to know that exactly as you are is how you must come to everything, you know, in your truth, in your power, in your grace, because that is the you that is loved and lovable and loving. That is the you that is perfect as you are. Yes, we all have shadow work to do. Yes, we all have work to do on ourselves, and challenges to face, and healing to move through. We all have that, and you have the tools, you have the time, you have the support, you have everything you need to bring in whatever it is you want to manifest. You already have it. There's no need to look outside of you for it. There's no need to look to others for it. There's no need to compare yourself to others for it. All that is needed is for you to be it, to be you, to bring what you have, to bring the treasure that you bring, to stand in everything that you are, and bring that focus, bring that order, bring that clarity to your relationships, bring that clarity to your connections, because sometimes we are really doing others a gift when we stand in our truth and we stand as who we really are. If we're not doing that, we're not really being honest, we're not really being in integrity, because sometimes even if it's to show somebody else a difficult truth or a difficult thing to face about themselves, we have to stand in our true self, our right self, in order that they are then able to learn that lesson or that challenge, or to overcome that behavior or that pattern, and to move into healing as well. So as we stand in our truth, we are able to allow others to stand in their truth, and to decide exactly what they need and what they're looking for and who they are in this. And sometimes even being in situations where we realize we are not something, or we're not having something, or we can't be something, then we're able to move into situations where we can have that thing, where we can manifest what we need and want, because we are able to know what we don't want. And if we hadn't known what we wanted in the beginning, then we're only going to learn what we did want through going through what we didn't want, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But there's this sense of understanding that lesson so that we can more clearly bring in this beautiful relationship of order and balance to the soft feminine nurturing, loving energy, and everything stands in its right order, in its right place, in its right movement. And then we can walk through the new beginnings. And whether we walk through those new beginnings alone, or with those people, those connections, those places, those things, doesn't really matter, as long as we are standing in our truth, because we will always bring in what's needed by being exactly who we are. Now, we've got this message now: happy news about your career promotions or scholarships, well thought out plans that go perfectly, needing a little push to get going. So again, yes, there's still some learning, some research to be done. Yes, there's this new page of moving into learning, moving into accepting and being everything we've learned, helping us move into that next chapter and apply that knowledge, that logic, that wisdom, and bring it into the next chapter as we move up and up and up. And that's what I'm seeing. We're moving up, we're moving into the new beginning, we're moving into that which we've been truly desiring, truly needing, truly manifesting, as only we can, and as only we are choosing. So come as you are, quietly do the work, look at yourself, make sure you have the right information. Make sure you are looking at the facts. Make sure that you are truly looking at yourself as you really are, and truly accepting and loving those things about you that are lovable. You know, learning to love the parts of you that perhaps you don't yet, bringing love to all of those parts and reconnecting with the truth of you, that stability that is you, connecting back to nature, connecting back to these places. I have a feeling that when you move back to these places, and or perhaps back to a land, maybe for some of you, you're needing to move back to a land that you've been away from, a land that is your home, that feels like home. Perhaps that's what's coming through for some of you. But whatever this is, whether it's just even sitting in your garden and connecting with your own patch of land, it's a very, very powerful place to bring through everything that you need to bring through, and the messages and the wisdom and the learning that's going to enable you to stand present, powerful, beautiful and self-loving, and move into the next chapter of whatever it is you want, whether it's the relationship, the job, the work. It's all there. It's all there to be manifested, or it's already there to be worked through, as long as you are standing in you as you, only you can. So beautiful ones, I feel that I'm repeating the message now, so I think that's the message done. But we've got a 3, a 4 and a 5. We've got 2s and 3s. They're all numbers of moving forwards, bringing balance and the divine feminine energy to the stability, and that stability will bring in everything that you've been calling for. Even if you are having to let go of something right now, you know that's still there for you, because that's the energy that you can move into as you stand in this, if this is what you're choosing. So thank you for being here. Thank you so much for liking, sharing and subscribing. If anything resonated for you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see you next time.